A warning to the curious. In the damp, shadowy corridors of the British Museum, Dr. Harold Ashford, a seasoned archaeologist with a penchant for the forbidden, came across an intriguing old manuscript. Its brittle pages whispered of a long-lost Saxon crown, said to belong to King Alaric, a ruler shrouded in both history and legend. The crown was rumored to possess a dark power, capable of bringing misfortune to those who dared to disturb its resting place. Driven by an insatiable curiosity and a desire for fame, Dr. Ashford decided to embark on an expedition to the ruins of Valebrook, where the crown was believed to be hidden. He gathered a small team of eager students, their minds filled with dreams of glory and discovery. As they approached the ancient site, the landscape grew increasingly desolate. Gnarled trees twisted skyward, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. A thick fog enveloped the area, obscuring their vision and cloaking the remains of the old Saxon village in eerie silence. The team set up camp near the ruins, and as night fell, they gathered around the flickering campfire. Dr. Ashford recounted tales of King Alaric, filling the air with stories of battles fought and legends lost. His students listened, rapt with fascination, unaware of the ominous presence lurking just beyond the firelight. The next day, the team began their search among the crumbling stones and overgrown vegetation. After hours of digging, they uncovered a weathered stone sarcophagus. Dr. Ashford's heart raced as he pried it open, revealing the remnants of a long-dead king, adorned with tattered remnants of royal regalia. But there, nestled among the remains, lay the ancient crown, its gold gleaming ominously in the dim light. Ignoring the warnings etched in the manuscript, Dr. Ashford seized the crown, a thrill of excitement coursing through him. In his mind, he could already envision the accolades, the lectures, the recognition. As he lifted the crown, a chill swept through the air. The atmosphere shifted, and a sense of dread settled over the group. They were not alone. That night, as the students slept, Dr. Ashford was jolted awake by a low, mournful wail echoing through the trees. He stepped outside his tent, the cold air biting at his skin. The fog had thickened, swirling ominously around him, and in its depths he glimpsed a shadowy figure. The being was tall and gaunt, draped in tattered robes that seemed to blend seamlessly with the night. Its eyes glowed with a malevolent light, locking onto Dr. Ashford's with an intensity that froze him in place. An ancient voice echoed in his mind, whispering curses of vengeance and retribution. Frightened, he stumbled back into his tent, clutching the crown tightly. He was being hunted. The following day, unease hung in the air like the oppressive fog. One by one, students began to vanish. At first, it was Sarah, a bright-eyed student eager to prove herself. She had wandered off in search of a rare flower, but when the sun dipped below the horizon, she had not returned. As night descended, the remaining students huddled together, fear palpable in the air. Dr. Ashford could feel the weight of the cursed crown pressing down on him. He tried to rationalize the disappearances, but deep down, he knew the truth. The entity was coming for them. The next night, as the remaining students sat around the fire, a rustling in the bushes sent them into a panic. They heard whispers, haunting and disembodied, echoing through the darkness. It was then that Mark, another student, screamed, pointing into the shadows, "There! In the trees!" But when they looked, there was nothing. The entity was toying with them, a predator savoring its prey. With each passing night, fear consumed Dr. Ashford. He could no longer ignore the mounting dread that gripped his heart. The crown was a beacon for the entity, drawing it closer with every heartbeat. Desperate to end the nightmare, he turned to the manuscript, hoping to find a means to appease the spirit. As he pored over the ancient text, he discovered a passage that spoke of a ritual to return the crown to its rightful place and banish the vengeful entity. But time was running out. The remaining students were becoming increasingly erratic, their minds unraveling under the pressure of fear. Dr. Ashford knew he had to act quickly. On the final night, as the fog rolled in thicker than ever, Dr. Ashford gathered what remained of his team. With trembling hands, he recited the incantation from the manuscript, his voice rising above the howling wind. The air crackled with energy, and the ground trembled beneath them. Suddenly, the entity appeared before them, towering and wrathful, its eyes blazing with fury. "You have disturbed the dead," it bellowed, its voice echoing through the trees. "You shall pay." Dr. Ashford, clutching the crown, stepped forward. "I return what is yours," he shouted, throwing the crown onto the ground at the base of the ancient stones. The moment it touched the earth, a blinding light enveloped the clearing, and the entity let out a deafening scream. In an instant, the light dissipated, and the entity vanished, leaving behind an unnatural silence. The fog began to clear, revealing the pale glow of the moon. The remaining students looked at each other in disbelief, their eyes wide with terror and relief. Dr. Ashford fell to his knees, the weight of the crown lifted from his shoulders. He had undone the curse, but at a cost. The memories of his lost students haunted him, their faces forever etched in his mind. As he stumbled away from the ruins, he couldn't shake the feeling that he would never be free from the entity's grasp. The warning remained clear. Curiosity could lead to ruin, and some secrets were best left buried. Returning to the world of academia, Dr. Ashford became a cautionary tale among his peers. He often found himself at the British Museum, staring at the empty pedestal where the ancient crown once lay. He would tell his story, a warning to the curious, reminding them that some treasures are better left untouched.